Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Matthew, my real life TV 505, back with a new episode for you. So it's the day after Christmas. I want to shout out to everybody and say Merry belated Christmas to everyone. I hope everybody had a very blessed Christmas. I hope you guys got to spend it with family, spend it with loved ones. I hope that the fates allowed for you to all enjoy your time together these holidays. Big thank you out to my family, both on my mom's side, my dad's side. To my fiance, to all to my kids, to everybody. Thank you for such a great Christmas, and thank you for such a great year. I know that we've been through some things this last year, some personal battles that I've gone through, and it looks like 2020 will be a better year. So Merry Christmas to everybody from Matthew, my real life TV 505. This episode is going to be a little bit special. It's going to be a little bit different, a little bit more personal, and it's going to be about my experience with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and using medical cannabis to medicate. So the holidays are usually that time of year where a lot of memories come back up. We lost a lot of loved ones in the past. We've had a lot of bad experiences. Sometimes some bad things tend to happen during the holidays, and those memories kind of get stuck with you, and they resonate with you, and they kind of stick with you, pretty much kind of like a scar, like a very deep wound. So my experience that I'm going to be sharing with y'all today is, the holidays are a little bit rough for me. I have a lot of experiences from my youth that are tied back to the holidays, and I've lost a lot of family members over the years. And when you start reminiscing back on those Christmases past that you spent with those family members, you begin to miss them and wish that they were still here with you today to enjoy these current holidays, to see all the new things that you've done, to see the new people in your lives, to see the children, how much they've grown. And I lost my baby brother when I was about 5 years old. I lost him. He had leukemia and Down syndrome. He passed away. He was about 2.5. And then I lost my great grandfather. He had fallen from his ceiling and had internal injuries and died from that. My great grandmother passed a few years after him. She really missed him a lot. And if you ask me, a lot of it was broken heart. My dad was murdered when I was about 11 years old. I never even actually really got the opportunity to meet him and get to know who he even was. And so he was taken out when I was at a real young age. I was raised by my grandfather, as a lot of you may already know, and he died 10.5 years ago in a car accident. And that, to me, he adopted me, so he's my father. He's the one that I did the video for the military services, funeral services. That was for my grandfather, who raised me and adopted me. That man, I credit him for giving me a childhood. I really appreciate him. I lost my cousin. I lost one of my cousins. He was 20 years old. He was battling addiction to drugs, and he was battling some illnesses and homelessness and stuff like that. And he ended up, 20 years old, and he ended up overdosing at a really young age. And unfortunately, that was 2011, and so we really miss him a lot. I have a female cousin who went through a lot throughout the years. Growing up, she endured a lot of abuse and encountered she had to deal with a lot of stuff herself, a lot of her own personal issues and demons. Again, another family member who, one of her babies had passed away, and then she ended up passing away, again from addiction and overdosing. I had an uncle who had come to stay with me during the time that he was on probation. I allowed him to come stay with me in a clean, safe place to stay. And shortly after my children's mother had packed up and left the day after Christmas with the kids, a couple days later, I found my uncle dead inside of my bathroom of a drug overdose. So I tried to bring him back, but it was obviously already too late. So that was just a few days after Christmas, and that was back in 2012. So that was pretty rough. In the recent years, I've spent a lot of time in the motorcycle community. I've lost a lot of friends to motorcycle accidents. I almost myself passed away in a motorcycle accident. That was a very traumatic accident. I've been in 5 motorcycle accidents total, been hit a total of 3 times. This last one, I broke over a dozen bones across my upper body, which you guys saw that video as well. other stuff going on. I had lost a lot of friends in the biker community. 2 motorcycle accidents. One of my best friends that I worked with at Harley Davidson passed away in a motorcycle accident last October, and that's still something that's kind of hard to accept because it's like that part of that timeline of your life with those people that were in it as they start to kind of die off. That it's like another lifetime. It's past. It's past. Kind of like Christmas. The ghost of Christmas past. It's gone. It's gone. It's that you had that fun, you had that time, you have those memories, and then there's something that dramatically changes it to where the good time is over and it's time to move on. That's what happened with me in the biker community. Um, I had a lot of friends recently who I've lost to suicides, especially friends that had served in the military. They're dealing with their own kind of post-traumatic stress disorder. I was raised by a Vietnam veteran who suffered severely from PTSD. And so I can say I understand to an extent, but I don't fully understand. And it's because my experience is different. They had their experience. They served in the military. They were shipped overseas. They endured battles and friends that were here and friends that are gone. And a lot of times we forget that with these veterans, when they're coming back, what they had to deal with, what they have to see, and how they have to adjust back to this world. It can really mess with your head. Um, I spent a few years working as a correctional officer, and I dealt with inmates on a daily basis, and it's messed with me to this day, to where I feel like I have to sit in a position wherever I'm in public. I have to sit somewhere where I can see everything. I can keep an eye. I gotta watch it, And it's kind of a crappy feeling to feel like you always have to watch your back. But then again, I think that falls back on a mindset. It's a mindset from PTSD. You were programmed to think a certain way for so many years, for so long, that when you're no longer in those elements, it's hard to get out of that element within your head. So the same thing happens for people who have spent time in prison. You get what's called institutionalized. You get post-traumatic stress disorder. You eat a certain way, you walk a certain way, you think a certain way, you do things a certain way. And it's a programming, and it's just basically changing the mindset is really what you got to learn to do. Um, Throughout the years of my life, I dealt with abandonment. I was abandoned by my parents. I was raised by my grandfather. That's the lifestyle I went through there. There was a short time during a Christmas where I was taken away from my grandfather by my mother, and during that short period, I witnessed and endured some abuse with her ex-husband, and that was hard. That's hard to deal with, and it sits with you. And to me, being abandoned by my parents, being raised by my grandfather, being taken away for that short period of time, seeing what I had to see, showed me what the kind of parent that I want to be. I want to be the parent that doesn't do stuff like that. That's for sure. I want to be a parent that wants to be there for their child and is there for their child. A parent that's going to educate them and teach them and fight for them, and just be. To me, it showed me a lot of what I don't want to be and a lot of what I do want to be. And a lot of what I don't want to be is what I endured in my youth. And what I've learned is that you don't focus on what you don't want, you focus on what you want. So I'm focusing on the kind of parent that I want to be. And I want to be the best parent that I can. Better than what was kind of handed to me, but as great as my grandfather. That's kind of the goal, to be like him. Over the years I was used as leverage, to go back and forth, stuff like that. People use children for leverage. They use children in relationships. It really don't do that to kids, man. It messes with them for the rest of their life, and it can also affect the way they're going to raise their children. And it creates a timeline. It creates a pattern. It just over time, it's just the same thing over and over. And like I said, I had some issues going back and forth with my youth. Spent some time working at MDC at the jail, where I experienced and saw a lot over there. And there's just it's a jail, and out here MDC is like is pretty much like the biggest psychiatric unit in the state. Everybody goes there. That's where they all go. And so I saw a lot of things in there that I don't care to really think about or repeat. I was even involved in a small riot, but I also had the time of my life. But it resonates with you, and it changes the way you see things and the way you look at the world. It makes you hug your family tighter, hold them closer. There's another world out there. There really is. I've had several near-death experiences in my life where I've, lost my grandfather. After he died, I was diagnosed shortly before he died. I was diagnosed with my illness. I was dealing with hip replacements and things like that from the disease kind of breaking me down. And they shoveled pain medications at me back in this day like nothing. So I ended up having an accidental overdose a couple of times. I've had problems with alcohol, dealing with addiction and alcohol poisoning. I've been in, like I said, 5 motorcycle accidents, 3 of which I've been hit. This last one, I'm still paying for it. There's just been so many things, and like I said, it's all scars, it's all cuts, it's all wounds, it all sticks with you, and the longer your life, the more it kind of resonates. But I've had my issues. I've had my issues with drugs, in my life. Not so much with me doing drugs, but I've seen, dealing with people around me, people in my life, people that I love, family members, and watching them just kind of fall apart and disappear. Friends that you knew at one time to be a star, something people can idolize, and now it's something that you're just like, damn, what happened to you? Life happens. Life happens. Post-traumatic stress disorder is real for everyone, not just military, not just firefighters, law enforcement, paramedics, stuff. It's real for everybody out there who's ever experienced something traumatic. And a lot of this stuff can, when you're sitting there and it's holidays, and a lot of this stuff tends to sit with you, and it's the holidays, and it starts kind of bothering you. You start remembering all the people that have passed away. You start remembering all the bad things that happened on those bad Christmases, and it makes you start kind of getting into a mindset where you're like, oh, fuck the holidays, fuck Christmas, who cares, nobody loves, and it's all about your mindset, man. You really need to change that mindset, because PTSD can cause depression. It causes depression. It causes anxiety. It causes anger. It has triggers. It's got triggers. You trigger and boom, it all starts to snowball. It's like throwing a rock into a still water and watching the ripples, and then the ripples crash at the end. And that's exactly what PTSD is like. A trigger hits and it ripples. Next you know, it's crashing. And then it's like, how do you get the water to calm down again? Well, for me, the holidays have always been real hard, especially since losing a lot of my loved ones. So a lot of memories come back, and it's hard to get through them. So what I did to get through Christmas this year was medicate. Use my medical cannabis to treat my PTSD. It calms me. It relaxes me. It puts me at ease. It helps me forget, and it helps me stay in the moment. It helps me laugh. It helps me feel better. So I choose to use medical cannabis to treat my PTSD when I'm having these moments where I feel like I want to drink alcohol. I'd rather not drink alcohol because that's going to make me feel worse. It's going to make me feel more depressed. I hear people all the time say, "Oh, alcohol makes me feel better. It makes me feel goofy." To an extent, eventually you're going to intake so much, and something's going to trigger. And then once it triggers, it's going to ripple. Once it ripples, it's going to crash. So that's my experience. So to get through my Christmas, I'm smoking on some Stardog F2 that I picked up over at the Harvest Foundation downtown on 3rd and Copper. I smoked on some Cactus Breath. I'm going to smoke on some Punch Breath. I'm smoking on some Tang Breath. I'm going to smoke on some Dosey number 18. And the reason why is because I talked to the bartender there, and this is everything he recommended as far as the flower that I would need to feel good, feel happy, stay functional, and not fall asleep. This is what it is. So I picked up this medication. I also picked up some Low Dog Sugar Wax. Now the reason I picked up the Low Dog Sugar Wax is because my bartender told me it's a great motivating, keeps you. It keeps you like it's an indica, but it's chill, it's relaxed, it's pain relief, but it doesn't sedate you. So you're still able to be motivated with pain relief. So that's why I really picked up that one. Because I like to be motivated. I like to feel happy. I like to laugh. I like to enjoy my time. but I don't, and I don't want to hurt, and I don't want to feel like I'm nodding out either. So this is what I picked up, as well as stopping in at Southwest Wellness, picking up Grape God and UFO, Durban Poison #2s, and some Blueberry Haze. All great mood enhancing flower that help keep me motivated through the holidays, help keep me from getting depressed, help me keep from getting any kind of triggers for PTSD. Another thing that helped me out a lot, surrounding myself with positive people, surrounding myself with good people, motivating people, and people who are going to inspire you and push you to do better and be better. People are going to help you laugh. People are going to help you smile. People are going to help you feel loved and happy on the inside. You need to surround yourself with that. Like I said, a lot of it is perspective. It's perspective, and it's changing your mindset. And medical cannabis is something that has helped me change that mindset and change that perspective when I feel like my still water is about to ripple and crash. So for everyone who's dealing with PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder, no matter what you're going through in your own individual, unique way, it's okay to use medical cannabis to help you get through it. It's better than using poison alcohol, which can make you crash. It's better than using drugs such as heroin, methamphetamines, prescription pills. All that stuff is just poison to your body and makes you feel worse, and it messes with the receptors in your brain to make you feel worse about yourself and your PTSD, adding to your anxiety, adding to your anger, adding to your stress, adding to your depression, causing you to ripple and crash. So my recommendation to everybody, if you're having a hard time getting through the holidays, get yourself some quality medical cannabis to help keep you uplifted, to help keep you happy, to help keep you motivated, to help keep you in good spirits. And at the same time, surround yourself with nothing but upbeat, positive spirited, open-minded people who have the same interests as you. That's my best advice to help you cope with PTSD. Is every day going to be good? No. Is every day going to be sunshine? No, I can't promise you that. But I promise you it'll help, because it's helped me. So this is my short video to you guys to help for the holidays. I know it's a bit late. I really hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. I know I have. I know I will continue to. Thanks to my loved ones, and thanks to medical cannabis helping me to overcome my post-traumatic stress disorder, live in the moment, and look forward to the future. So thank you guys again. From Matthew, My Real Life TV 505. Merry Christmas, and let's look forward to the new year.